Welcome to Touchline Talk by Soccerspective. We highlight world-class soccer managers and translate their tactics for youth soccer coaches. So whether this is your first time coaching youth soccer, or if you're a seasoned veteran, or just a fan of the game, welcome to Touchline Talk. Welcome to Touchline Talk by Soccerspective. I'm your host of Touchline Talk, Brandon Faust, and today we're going to take a look at the play style of Paulo Fonseca, the manager at AC Milan, who are doing well in the Champions League as well as Serie A and making a run in the Coppa Italia. In each Touchline Talk episode, we'll spotlight a notable manager, explore their tactical philosophy, leadership style, and key strategies on the field. After unpacking their methods, we'll finish with a practical activity or two tailored for your training sessions as you coach youth and grassroots soccer, so you can implement these world-class insights with your own teams. Stick around to get hands-on resources that bridge these professional level principles with the needs of grassroots and youth soccer. Our Soccerspective YouTube channel has well over 20,000 subscribers, and we are here to build another weekly resource to connect with and empower youth and amateur soccer coaches. Hitting the like and the subscribe button to the Soccerspective YouTube channel ensures that you always see when we release new podcast episodes, as well as other coaching resource videos, which brings right to you all of the tactical insights and practical coaching tips. It's a win-win. We'll elevate your coaching game with valuable content, and your support helps us grow and create even more resources for the soccer coaching community. Paulo Fonseca, the Portuguese tactician, is now leading AC Milan. He's gained a reputation for his tactical ingenuity and ability to mold teams into fluid attacking units. He's known for his philosophy of adaptability, creative problem solving, and he emphasizes a blend of positional play and counter-attacking dynamism. His tenure at AC Milan has showcased his ability to create balanced teams that can dominate possessions while remaining dangerous on the break as well. He's known for his tactical flexibility and willingness to tailor strategies to the strengths of his team. A lot of managers want to play a set system, and then they get players out and then get players in to meet that system, where Fonseca takes a little different approach. I always thought Carlo Ancelotti has done this well, sees what he's got, and then develops a play style that works for those players. Fonseca follows that model a little bit. At Milan, he's seamlessly incorporated versatile formations. He'll often use like a 4-2-3-1 that morphs into a 3-4-2-1 during matches. There's a lot of emphasis right now in this AC Milan team on these quick 1-2 passes in midfield that lead to like a vertical pass or look for that overlapping run or a long through ball even. So it's not necessarily this tiki-taka style all the way down the field. You might see some of that in the build-up in midfield, and then boom, they hit you on the break with the speed of players like Christian Pulisic. You might see overlapping fullbacks in his systems and intelligent movement off the ball to set up for some of these vertical passes. And it's really added a new dimension to AC Milan's attack. This episode, we're going to look at some of that tactical fluidity. We're going to take a look at some of AC Milan's most recent matches and his ability to involve creative midfield players into the attack, as well as the utilization of wingers or fullbacks to break through those lines. You'll see a lot of times in Fonseca's team at AC Milan that they really find a way to find these vertical passes from the middle third of the field to the attacking third. And we're going to look at his tactical approach, how it's revitalized Milan's attacking identity and brought out the best in their star players. So his playing and early coaching career, he started as a defender in Portugal before transitioning into coaching, where his analytical mind and his ability to see the collective game has really flourished. He gained prominence with Pacos de Ferreira, guiding the team to Champions League qualification, and later made a name at Shakhtar Donetsk, where he sharpened his philosophy of attacking football. He's influenced by several tactical thinkers. He's been known to say Pep Guardiola has influenced that, as well as Carlo Ancelotti, blending principles of positional play and pragmatism with his own ideas. His time in Ukraine at Shakhtar Donetsk shaped his understanding on how to balance technical prowess with the tactical discipline as well. He's evolved a bit as a coach, and that's been apparent during his times coaching at Roma and now with AC Milan. And he's refined his ability to adjust formations, mid-game, which I think does create a change-up, right? We don't always see managers willing to do that, but when he goes from that 4-2-3-1 to a 3-4-2-1, it can really change the balance of a match. And he's created systems where the players understand when they change that, what their new role is and how to adapt them into that way. And it's made AC Milan a little bit unpredictable when you have to go up against them, right? How are they going to set up? How are they going to use their personnel and attack the game? So he's known as well from a leadership perspective as collaborative, innovative. He likes the input from his players. He encourages his players to embrace the tactical complexity while giving them freedom to express their creativity. We've seen players like Reinders this year just absolutely reach a new level. You've seen players like Christian Pulisic be freed up to reach a new level. And his leadership style combines clear communication with the deep understanding of the mental and emotional aspects of the game. So although he has a direction and a plan of how he wants them to be tactically disciplined, he does try to, especially some of those midfield players, those attacking wingers, give them some creativity where you might, there's times where you see an underlap from a player like Pulisic for a through ball, as opposed to just looking for that ball out wide and a point of attack from there. Some key tactics. I think one of his strengths we've talked about is tactical fluidity. They can seamlessly move from formations. That 4-2-3-1 shifts into a 3-4-2-1 during attacking phases and allows the fullbacks to push high while a midfielder drops, to form that back three. You see a lot of vertical progression. They break through the lines really quickly. This quick vertical passing is central to his philosophy. You might see a long diagonal through ball, which he allows his players to have the courage to try those things. In an age where there's a lot of possession-based, where you don't see some of those kind of through balls in some of the top leagues anymore, it's actually been really refreshing to watch. You'll see sometimes these midfielders find pockets of space in the central part of the field, a 1-2 pass, and they're looking for an overlapping run out deep and wide and near the opponent's 18-yard box, or you'll see an underlapping run that goes through like a diagonal type run from a winger or a striker, and they're looking for that long through ball to break the lines. And so there's always kind of this threat that you have to think about. A lot of 1-2 balls that get played to an advanced runner. And then you see also wide overloads. He uses his wingers and overlapping fullbacks to create numerical advantages in those wide areas, and it stretches defenses. And then there's oftentimes where you'll see a player like Reinders end up coming late into the midfield with those wide attacking overloads. The defense is paying a lot of attention there, and then next thing you know, they're laying off a ball to a midfielder with the quality and skill of somebody like Reinders has created actually a lot of goals for them this year. Now, let's look at some of these recent matches. AC Milan played Bratislava in the Champions League, won that match. And what we see right here is that 1-2 ball to a vertical pass after Pulisic completes kind of an underlapping run for the through ball and then a great finish. In this next match, what we're seeing is AC Milan versus Empoli, a vertical wide ball to another through ball, leading to a great chance by Morata early in the match. Doesn't quite finish it. And then you have AC Milan again with another vertical through ball that skips from the middle third to the attacking third. The ball eventually then gets into the box, and Morata buries it for a goal. And so sometimes those movements aren't always going to create, a breakaway or even a 1v1 when they hit that vertical pass. But that vertical pass then stretches the defense. And just like in this situation, Morata's wide open and, with his quality and his run of form recently, absolutely buries it. At AC Milan, right here, we see another one against Empoli, another through ball into the middle. Reinders ends up in tons of space. The defense is stretched and just absolutely buries it. Now, most recently, on December 3rd, they played in the Coppa Italia against Sassuolo. And Chukwueze receives a beautiful vertical through ball from midfield into the attacking third, and he absolutely ends up burying it and finishes it. Then once again, we have another vertical ball during this match that penetrates into the attacking third. A late runner from the outside comes in and buries it. And yet another opportunity, a vertical ball to an outside runner for the through ball. Poor defending, to be fair, poor defending here. But then it's cut back into the middle, lays it off, and they end up scoring yet another goal and end up winning this match 6-1. And so here you can see on display, there's other tactical elements we could focus on. But this right here, what we're starting to see and observe is the use of that through ball, the use of a 1-2 pass that often sets up this vertical ball that cuts through the lines. And as you know, what you want to do as a team is you want to keep the ball, and then you want to find a way to get the ball down the field. And a lot of times right now it's slow build up. We see in the Premier League, everybody wants to be Manchester City. Everybody wants to play tiki-taka ball like Pep knows how to with his teams. But not every team has that kind of quality. And so I found it to be really interesting for how Fonseca has found a way to use the strengths of the players, Reinders, Pulisic in particular, to stretch defenses and to look for that, utilize that speed and utilize the technical quality of a long ball, to use that technical quality and tactical quality of timely runs. You're seeing a lot of those timely runs even on these goals that we've just looked at. And so for you as a youth coach or an amateur coach or a college coach, we can take principles from Fonseca's emphasis on positional versatility, quick transitions, those 1-2 balls that set up into either a through ball or an overlapping run that creates space, and to prepare for those more complex systems down the road. But they're also really useful principles for young people to learn and to understand. Now, we don't just want to play boom ball with our kids, right? We don't just, at a certain age, when they get around 7, 8, 9 years old and they can kick the ball a little bit further, kids can fall in love with that idea, and even their parents can celebrate, a boom ball pass. But what we're really looking for here is controlled through balls, right? If we're going to introduce this, we want it to be controlled, and teaching players to run into space, but also as a passer to play a ball into space. We want to get the ball to feet in a lot of moments, but in the attacking third, there are times when we move from that midfield third to the attacking third, can we play a ball into space? So this first activity I want to introduce to you, very simple, appropriate at any age group, is the through ball 1v1, where the coach plays a ball to a player. You could even have another player do it. A coach plays it to a player, and then player A plays a through ball to player B, who is checked back to the ball and made an outside overlapping run. We have some cones, marking that out. So they check back to the ball and make that outside overlapping run for the through ball. We want the passer to play it into space. We want the runner who's making the through run to run to space, meet up with the ball, and have a 1 or 2 touch finish on goal. We want to emphasize technical competence with passing, but also that tactical application of when to look for the through ball. So can our passers get their heads up, and how to time that through ball run. So this is a very simple activity. You can do it with 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds. You can do it with 18-year-olds because getting that timing down, getting that technical quality down, reintroducing that principle of playing a ball into space, of running into space, and timing that out into attack. Now, the next activity involves more players, and it gets a little bit more complex, and there's some more rotation. This technical passing practice is played ideally in a 20 by 20 yard area, and it focuses on passing combinations between players. This is kind of like a midfield passing activation activity. There are 4 stations, cones around this sequence, with 1 player starting at each of those. We begin with, say, a center back passing the ball wide to a fullback, who then sets the ball up for the player following their pass. It's kind of like a 1-2 sort of pass, and then the ball is played through the central midfielder, who takes a touch and sends it wide to what could be like a defensive midfielder. This 1-2 combination is played between the two players before sprinting through and around the first mannequin or cones, whatever you have, to restart the sequence. And you keep this going over and over, rotating positions, as you can see in the diagram here. Why this is important is a lot of times players just want to go forward. And what we're trying to do is to have them develop that tactical acumen, as well as sharpen their technical ability to play a 1-2 ball. Can we play that 1-2 pass quickly? And then can we look for that outside run through ball to receive the pass? Even if they make the run and you don't get the ball, that's great. It's stretching the defense. It's doing something in the match. It's giving them, without saying do this every single time, it's giving them options when we're in midfield of how to build out of the midfield and get into the attack. A lot of times, especially in 7v7 or 9v9, what we can do is say, all right, the script is get the ball wide, and can we get our wide player to win a 1v1? Okay, that's a great option to have, but if that's the only script, we're going to start limiting our players. So can we teach them these 1-2 passing combinations and looking for that, say, outside run that often could be an overlap or sometimes just an outside run to look for a through ball to give us an option. And even if they don't take that option in a match, it's at least going to make the defense think and stretch the defense a little bit, which buys us time and then maybe other options. The third activity is we want to find the forward runner to finish. We want to find the forward runner to get to a finishing play. This technical activity takes place, so we want to stretch that area a little bit by 25 by 20 yard area, and focuses on players' timing of movements to receive between the lines. So a little bit more of that tactical mindset that we're developing. We set up with players starting, as shown in the example here, with a central zone created with mannequins or cones if you need it. We begin with the first player, number 6 in this diagram here, playing a 1-2 combination with the second player, which is the number 8 here, before passing out wide to the third player in the sequence, the 3, and the next pass is then played to the 11. The player receiving between the lines, the two sets of mannequins or cones, who plays it through for the through player on the mannequin, see the number 4 there. They receive it then on the back foot, they take a touch and play it through to the number 10, who receives it between the lines. And then the final pass is played to the first station for the sequence to be repeated, and players will follow their passes to the next station. Once again, on this one here, you're pinging that ball around and then looking for that through ball run out wide. We're trying to get it into the big goal. If the defense wins it, can they then attack on the? They can attack on the small goal, right? And so 1-2 pass, that player drops off into defense, and if they can win it back, they can play it into the small goals. And the attacking team, as long as everything goes according to plan, you ping it around, you look for that through ball type advanced attacking vertical run to get an opportunity to score a goal. If the player who lays that final ball off now moves to defense, if they win it back, they can play on those small goals there to the side. So between those 3 activities, you have various abilities, various players, various sizes. So if you only have a handful of players, you can do the 1v1. If you want to then progress that into the midfield passing activation, and then the third one is moving to that forward runner to finish. But the idea is to take Fonseca's tactical approach of using those vertical passes, using those 1-2 passes to set up a vertical through ball run into your teams. These are principles that kids, even at a young age of 6 or 7, can understand and digest, and as well as they are important regardless of the tactical setup of having those options of when to look for a through ball run and even that off ball movement. Even if the player doesn't get the ball, and I think we're emphasizing that. You may not get the ball when you make a run. You may call for it. Keep making that run, because when you do, you could be through a 1v1 on the keeper, right? Or what it's going to do is it's going to stretch, like we often see with AC Milan. It stretches the field, and then a midfield player like Reinders now has tons of space to orchestrate what he wants to orchestrate, or to carry the ball into an opportunity for a shot on goal. And so youth coaches, you can apply Fonseca's principles by teaching players to play simple combinations and then move the ball forward through an overlapping run or a through ball run, and create that dynamic and dimension to your attack. We want to say thank you for jumping into this episode of Touchline Talk. Throw us a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next episode of Touchline Talk.